Welcome back to KJ's channel. I've changed my mind for today. I was thinking about doing some yard work, but went out there and kind of looked over everything. And there's nothing growing except my fireweed. So what I'm going to do is just spray all of that and try to kill as many of the weeds as possible. There's no need to mow the weeds. If I can get a lot of that to die out, I might have to re-sow beginning of next year. See if we can get some grass to grow. I don't know, but I'm not going to mow or worry about any of that today. I've decided instead to go over my knife collection. I don't really have like a collection of knives. I just have a gob of knives. And so me thinking about wanting this this new Tanto, and I just gave my brother a knife, and I got a knife in this box. And so I'm going to kind of go through, talk about the ones I use, ones I don't use, the ones that I actually just have because I like. Think they're cool knives. So I'll probably need to discuss how many knives I've lost also, because that list is probably longer than what I have. 3 miles completed this morning. It's not as hot today as it has been the last few days. And yeah. So today I'm going to talk about my knives. As I said, I'm not really a knife collector. I just have a bunch of knives. I do like knives. I do at some point want to get some that are nice. I'll talk a little bit about the ones that I want to get. But just real quickly, I'm not going to talk about my swords or saws or hatchet, anything like that. I mean, that's just kind of basic stuff, but I'll go through what I have for knives. And if you're anything like me, you've probably lost more than you can find. So I'm running around the house trying to find all my knives. I got them sitting in different places. So right now I have a pile on my bed that I'm trying to make sure I have all the ones that I can remember. The ones that I'm going to show you are ones that I have carried or I have for a special purpose. And there are about 2 maybe that I think are collectibles. Alright folks, here we have my collection. I don't have a lot of knives. Like I said, I've probably lost more than I have now. But these are the ones I've been able to keep up with or I haven't given away or lost. I will talk about a few that I've lost though, because they need to be replaced and I got to figure out what to do with that. So let me start with the multi-tools. I love multi-tools, but I'm kind of a snob. I only like Leatherman. So this is a Raptor. It's a Trauma shears multi-tool. So it does have the scissors. It has a seat belt hook so that you can cut seat belts, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't have a whole lot more as far as, I mean, it's got a little ruler or whatever, but seat belt cutter. So anyway, this stays in the car or the Tahoe. It does have a window breaker, window punch, which by the way is not as useful as it used to be. A lot of cars now have laminated side windows. That's there. So next up is my Leatherman Skeletal. I've tried to use this as an everyday carry. It has a knife and a bit. It actually has a bit here that's 2-sided. So a bigger Phillips and a smaller Phillips. And then there is a place to hold another bit here, which is the flat tip. I like this all right. It does have a lanyard clip, and you can use this as a bottle opener, all that good stuff. My favorite Leatherman of all time went in this pouch right here. It was my Charge XTI or whatever it was, the titanium. I had it connected to my backpack when I went on a mission trip, and When it came off of the top of the bus where there were people riding, it was not in this anymore. This was actually strapped and connected to my backpack, but the tool was gone. I've had a Leatherman Wave that I've also lost, but the XTI was my favorite by far. Love to have another one. And then my big Leatherman, this one's just too big for everyday carry. If I'm actually doing something, I'll put it on. But this is the Surge, which is, if you know your Leatherman, it's the big boy. It's got everything on it. And then I have a bit kit that goes with it that stays inside the sheath there. As far as other multi-tools, like I said, I'm a snob. I do have a Gerber, but most of the time it stays in the Tahoe or in Sharon's purse. I'm not a big fan of Gerber. I don't like their multi-tool. So those are the multi-tools. All right, next let's talk about our folding knives. Of course, you have your pocket knife, my old timer here. Old, trusty, faithful. A lot of times I'll put that in my pocket, especially if I'm dressed for church or for an event where it'd look kind of tacky with a pocket clip hanging out. I went through a season where I really liked these Kershaw blades. These are assisted opening, and I have two of them. One is serrated, one is not. And I also had the small chive version of this. Most of the time, this sits at the back door and will end up in my pocket with this one and the skeletal, or one of these two, or however I decide to do it. But I really like these Kershaw blades. They're nice, reliable. The assisted open is nice. I carried this here, which is a razor knife. You just put a regular razor blade in there, and I carried it around for a long time, especially when I worked at the convenience store, because it was nice for boxes, and you could just replace the blade. One of my biggest struggles with knives has always been sharpening. I have tried dozens of sharpening tools, and I have never been good at sharpening knives. So if any of you know something that's idiot-proof that I could use to sharpen knives, let me know. I have not been able to have good success with that. These other two are ones that I just keep in the car for utility things. I am not sure where this one came from. This is a Hoffman Riker, it looks like. 440 stainless steel. It's a pretty hefty blade. This one usually stays in one of the vehicles just in case you need something, but it is assisted opening. It's just too heavy to be an everyday carry. This one here is a SOG, and it is not too heavy as an everyday carrier, but it must be locked. There's the blade locked. It does have a lock, and then it sits up there so that you have to actually use this button to unlock it. This one I got for Christmas one year. I like the blade. It's nice enough, but it is one of those that is a little big and a little unwieldy to carry as an everyday carry, so it stays in my in one of my vehicles, and it's just a utility knife in case I need it. Now on to the fixed blades. This is probably my most common everyday carry. I put this on my belt, and it's right there. I love this thing. The Spew Faults design. That's probably my most used knife out of all of them, followed by this one. But I'll carry this on me and maybe one of these others in my pocket if I know I might be doing something else. If I had my charge back, it would probably be on my belt too, but this is a quick knife, really easy to get to. This is a little hunting knife, fixed blade. I usually take camping when we go because it's a pretty good utility knife. I'm not really attached to it, so if I use it to break stuff, it'll be all right. Of course, this one you saw yesterday, I got it in the box from Bespoke Post. This is a big fillet knife. I got it as a gift somewhere. This one stays in my tackle box. obviously for fishing, but it's just a simple fillet knife. I usually take it when we go camping, that way I can clean fish, but it does stay in my tackle box for the most part. Alright, last two. This is a K-bar. Done a little bit of research on this. This is not a World War II K-bar. This is one that came out in the 70s that they redid. I bought this at a antique shop in Hendersonville, North Carolina for like 15 bucks. But it is a stamped USMC Olean K-bar. I don't know if you can see that. But the sheath has the stamp on it. That's one way to know that it was not an original. But this is a solid blade. I've actually taken this one camping all the time because it is a K-bar, and it's just really good for that. It stays in my tackle box most of the time too, because if I go camping, I'm taking my tackle box. And then this one here is a kukri blade, or a kukri knife. I actually bought this in Nepal, Kathmandu, and it stays on my office wall most of the time. I have never used it for anything. I'm not sure how well it would hold up. The handle, I mean, it seems okay, but I think it's more for show than anything else, and I got it because how often do you go to Kathmandu and you can actually buy a kukri knife? So those are all my blades. As I said, I'm not much of a blade expert or connoisseur. I just kind of, they seem to be more utility than anything else for me. Well, that's my knives. So yeah, the rest of today, so I did spray this yard. You can see where the fireweed is dying, but there's really no need to mow anything other than that. I did use some of that same spray back here in the backyard to try and kill some of these weeds. I don't know, it's a mess. There's a little bit of grass right here that's kind of green, but it's just little tufts here and there. And then there's a bunch of morning glory. The weeds took over. I was having a pretty good yard part of last year, and all of a sudden just weeds and very, very little grass. Oh well. It is what it is. I think I'll be back in the office tomorrow. That's when I'll see you guys. Later.